If you could freeze the world at a single moment in history, stop everything, and look closely at one country that was completely breaking apart while everyone else was celebrating, that moment would be December 31st, 1999. The world was welcoming 21st century, but Russia was drowning. The Soviet Union had disintegrated only 9 years ago. 15 republics were gone. Millions had slipped into poverty. The economy was collapsing, and more than anything, the spirit of Russian people was shattered.
Certainties of the old Soviet system were gone. What would replace it wasn't clear to anyone.
And on that night, as the countdown to the new millennium began, the Russia's president Boris Yeltsin appeared on national television. His face was tired, his voice was unsteady, and with teary eyes he said something no Russian expected to hear.
Сегодня я в последний раз обращаюсь к вам как президент России. Я принял решение, долго и мучительно над ним размышлял. Сегодня, в последний день уходящего века, я ухожу в отставку. Я хочу попросить у вас прощения.
I am resigning. He then announced the name of the man who would lead Russia from that moment onward. A man barely known to the public, Vladimir Putin. Today, Putin is portrayed as one of the most dangerous men on the planet, right? A leader whose decision can shake global politics and even start a nuclear war. So if he is truly the villain the world paints him to be, why didn't he destroy the world? Why did Russia on the edge of the total collapse rise again to become a powerful nation? To understand that, we must go back to the beginning. Putin was born in 1952 in Leningrad, a city that suffered one of the deadliest sieges in World War II. His father fought against Nazi Germany. His two older brothers didn't survive childhood because of the war's aftermath. He grew up in a cramped communal apartments in rough neighborhood where you learn one thing early, that if you don't fight back, you don't survive. Putin was short, quiet and bullied, but he was observant. He watched everything. He studied people. He learned not to react emotionally but strategically. He developed an obsession with discipline. From judo to academics, control became his armor. He studied law at St. Petersburg State University and soon after joined the KGB, the Soviet Union's secret service. To him, joining KGB wasn't just a career choice. It was loyalty, it was a patriotism, and it was a way to ensure Russia would never be humiliated again. In 1975, he was posted to East Germany, working in intelligence operation during the Cold War. And then in 1999, something happened that changed his life forever. The Berlin Wall fell. Crowds were storming the streets, the East German state was collapsing, and Putin, inside a KGB office, was burning documents, trying to protect whatever was left of Soviet intelligence. He called Moscow for help, and no one answered. For the first time, Putin saw the Soviet state powerless, and 2 years later, in 1991, it was completely collapsed. The USSR, once controlling 1/6 of the planet, broke into 15 pieces. Everything Putin has served, believed in, and protected was gone. He later called the collapse of the Soviet Union the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of 20th century. This was not nostalgia, this was trauma. And this was a new worldview forming in his mind. A weak Russia invites chaos, a strong Russia survives. After the Soviet collapse, Russia entered a decade now famously called the Wild 90s. And the word wild is an understatement. State companies were privatized overnight. Energy, mining, oil, telecom all fell into the hands of a few businessmen who became oligarchs, controlling wealth and politics. The rubble lost value, saving evaporated, crime exploded, the life expectancy dropped, and Russia borrowed money from the West just to stay afloat. President Yeltsin struggled to control the country. Separatist movement grew, and Chechnya demanded independence. Bombing and violence increased. Russia was not just unstable, it was fragile, and during this fragile period, Putin quietly rose through political ranks. He wasn't charismatic, he wasn't popular, but he was reliable, calm under pressure, and fiercely loyal to the state. He became the head of the FSB and the successor to the KGB. And then in 1999, Yeltsin appointed him prime minister. For most Russians, Putin was still a mystery, but that would change very soon. In late 1999, a series of apartment bombings shook Russia. Hundreds of civilians died, panic spread all across the country. The government blamed Chechen militant, and Putin, still new in politics, appeared on national television with a line that became legendary.
साल 1999 रशिया एक ऐसे मोड़ पर खड़ा था जहां देश का भविष्य धुंध में खोया हुआ था। सोवियत यूनियन टूट चुका था, इकोनॉमी बिखर चुकी थी और रूस का कंट्रोल अब अपने ही इलाकों में डगमगाने लगा था। इन्हीं में से एक इलाका रशिया के साउथ में बसा चेचनिया था, जिसने पहली चेचन वॉर जीतकर खुद को रूस से इंडिपेंडेंट डिक्लेयर कर दिया था। रशिया ने उस युद्ध में लाखों सैनिक झोंक दिए थे, लेकिन चेचन गुरिल्ला फाइटर्स ने दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी सेनाओं में से एक को घुटनों पर ला दिया। कुछ वक्त तक चेचनिया ने अपने आप को आजाद देश की तरह चलाया, लेकिन फिर 1999 में सब कुछ बदल गया। रूस की सत्ता में एक नया नाम व्लादिमीर पुतिन उभर कर सामने आया, एक ऐसा फॉर्मर केजीबी ऑफिसर जो अचानक से प्रधानमंत्री बना और जिसने कुछ ही महीनों में देश का नैरेटिव बदल कर रख दिया। पुतिन ने साफ शब्दों में कहा कि दुश्मन कहीं भी छिपे हो, चाहे वो टॉयलेट में ही क्यों ना हो, हम उन्हें वही घुसकर मारेंगे।
We will find the terrorists. If they are in the toilet, we will eliminate them in the toilet. This was the moment he became the strongman Russian had been searching for since the Soviet collapse. His approval ratings skyrocketed. And on December 31st, 1999, when Yeltsin unexpectedly resigned, Putin became acting president of Russia. A nation in chaos now had a leader who promised order. Between 2000 and 2008, Russia transformed dramatically. Global oil prices rose sharply, and Russia, one of the world's largest oil and gas exporters, benefited immensely. Under Putin, GDP has increased significantly. Poverty level dropped, unemployment fell, income levels improved. The state resigned control over strategic sectors. Foreign debt was paid down, and Russia's reserves reached hundreds of billions. Russians saw real improvement. After a decade of instability, life finally felt predictable again. Western leaders also initially welcomed Putin. George W. Bush famously said after meeting him, "I looked the man in the eye. I found him to be very straightforward and trustworthy." Putin wasn't yet the global antagonist. He was considered a partner. But as Russia grew stronger in relationship with the West became more complicated. Putin introduced a flat 13% income tax. He curbed the political influence of oligarchs. He restructured Russia's federal system. Regional governors who once enjoyed significant independence were now appointed, not elected. To the West, this was authorizationism. To many Russians, it was necessary to stop the country from spreading further. Russia had 11 time zones, dozen of ethnic regions, and real separatist threat. Putin believed only a firm, centralized system could hold the country together. Or whether right or wrong, it worked. Russia stabilized, then it strengthened, and then it rose. Relation with the West deteriorated slowly. NATO expanded eastward. Russia opposed the Iraq War, and conflict erupted in Georgia in 2008. Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, and finally the Ukraine invasion in 2022. After 2022, the West imposed several sanctions. Billions in Russian assets were frozen. Trade was cut. Companies left the Russian market. The goal was simple: push Russia into another collapse like 1991. But something else happened. Russia turned east. Trade with China crossed $200 billion. Chinese product replaced Western ones. Russian oil found new buyers. The ruble didn't collapse. Instead of breaking Russia, the sanction forced it to build a new economic system independent of the West. What does all this mean for India? This video is not about glorifying Putin, not about defending him, not about condemning him. It is about understanding why a leader becomes what he becomes. Putin grew up in a country defined by war. He served an empire that disappeared. He inherited a nation disintegrating and he rebuilt it his way. There are lessons India can take. Never allow yourself to be bullied. Putin despises bullying because he grew up fighting them. Nations too must stand firm. A strong economy is a stronger weapon than any army. Russia survived sanctions because its economy was prepared. Democracy works best with expertise. Infrastructure, cities and national strategy cannot be run by politics alone. Experts matter. Country must embrace its own identity. Russia doesn't imitate the West. It follows its own model. India should do the same. Putin's story is controversial, right? It is inspiring to some, alarming to others, but it is impossible to ignore. He took a collapsing nation and made it stable. He made Russia relevant again. He changed the world's balance of power. You don't have to love him. You don't have to hate him. But you must understand him because leadership, power, and geopolitics are never black or white. They are shades of grey. This is Mindset Unlocked, and this was the untold perspective of Vladimir Putin. Tell me in the comments which world leader should we decode next. Until then, if you loved the video, hit the like and subscribe to Mindset Unlocked. And if you are interested, you can also watch our earlier documentaries. Thank you and Jai Hind.